In the dim glow between classified truth and whispered speculation, a film emerges like a signal cutting through static. A documentary that doesn't just ask questions, but drags long-buried mysteries back into the light. From the eerie Navy UFO encounters etched into FLIR footage to the uncanny testimonies of military insiders describing craft that defy physics, the film stitches together events that have unsettled governments and fueled a worldwide hunger for answers. It revisits programs like AATIP, where intelligence officials quietly tracked phenomena they could neither explain nor contain. It highlights strange metamaterials locked away in private labs, whistleblowers hinting at crash retrievals, and a pattern of secrecy stretching from the Roswell debris to recent congressional UAP hearings. But is it unveiling truths finally rising to the surface, or simply amplifying the mysteries that refuse to fade? This case file, join the Theorists as we explore the revelations on black budgets, black ops, and black t-shirts in the new film, The Age of Disclosure.
Theorists, Theorizing. I'm Braden.
I'm Dan.
These two guys are here too.
Yeah, I was
Holy
waiting.
shit! Zell's gone, and they're like, "Boo!"
I didn't even know we started
Who's
recording.
next?
Honestly, I didn't.
Dan
even know
goes
we were...
before me. It's been established.
I saw the countdown, but I
Yeah.
didn't get an intro. I was like, okay.
It's so funny. It's so many people, dude. The hype around this fucking Age of Disclosure documentary, huge. This it's like I was like just blown out of the water. So many people being like, "You guys watched this yet? You seen it?" And I was like, honestly, it's been a long time since I've watched a UFO documentary that I was genuinely like fucking into this.
Well,
this is awesome.
Look, I'm curious about it, especially people that are wondering if we've seen this and like, fuck it, have you seen, like, because it's like, have you not listened to what we've talked about
dude.
over the last 2? Like, I was shocked. I'm like, yeah, I know. The entire time I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
people actually ask it, like, if we have seen that, like,
Yes.
dude, what?
Yeah, I'm like, do you not listen to the show? I'm like,
Buddy,
literally.
we've been preaching the gospel.
Tell me you
Yeah.
don't listen to the
Talked
show
about
without
this.
telling me you don't listen to the
You
show.
could have been
'cause I was
listening
like,
to our show in real time and finding out all this information week by week.
We pretty much did this documentary like last year.
Yeah, we've been putting this documentary together since 2017. But first point of note that I didn't know going into this documentary, I didn't know it was Lou Elizondo. I had no idea.
Is it Lou Elizondo vehicle?
The same Lou Elizondo that presented a lamp as a UFO to Congress.
There was no
before
vetting. Nobody vetted it.
Right?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
No big deal. The two notes I had about Lou Elizondo in this, I was like, first off, holy fuck, what a hero this guy portrays himself as. What a fucking hero. I could not believe it. Dude, watching this, I was like, first off, you made the documentary. And then he's acting like he's a fuck. Dude, I've been put out and I'll never stop. Someone said, good job, and that kept me going. I'm going to keep going. Now because of that. And he's just like so
Thank
hard
God
done
for
by.
Lou Elizondo.
Yeah, holy fuck.
Thank God
Because
for
the world would not turn without that little fucking dorks help.
I like
Stuff.
the anecdote he talks about when he's like stuck in, he's talking about being stuck in DC traffic. Like, I was commuting back from my job in DC traffic. I'm like, yeah, DC traffic's pretty bad. And I'm like, yeah, you probably did have a lot of time to reflect because
and
you're
that's
stuck
why
in
he wanted to
traffic
quit
for an
his
hour and a half.
job. He's like, I fucking hate this job. I'm gonna start snitching about these fucking UFOs. I can't do this traffic again.
495. Fuck this place.
The second note I had about Lou is, could you not get a fucking shirt that fit that guy? Have you ever seen sleeves? Like, honestly, his sleeves were so short. I was like, cut the sleeves off at this point.
He
I was
does
like, it's
seem
getting
to have,
ridiculous.
I think he does have just that one black t-shirt.
It's
You
insane.
can literally fucking, there's t-shirt subscription services now.
Yes.
Like it's not rocket appliances, man. We can get you a tarp that fits.
He pretty much wears,
I'm
I think he
telling-
wears that in like just about all of his like interviews.
You want to know what it is? He watched fucking Julian in Trailer Park Boys and he's like,
Yes.
I need me one of those. I need a sexy
Dude,
Julian.
and you
bad.
can tell the shirt didn't fit, but he's like, this shirt looks good on me when I'm sitting.
Age of
Because it was all like-
disclosure too. He's got a fucking little glass of rum and a chain.
He's sitting there, it's all like creased up in the shoulders because he's like pushing his shoulders. Look, he's doing the classic fat guy trying to look buff. But the problem with that is they were shooting him at a good angle, the low to high, and he's kind of flexing his shoulders out. It's creasing the shirt. He's got the 3-finger sleeves on that are super tight. And then the problem is it does that they do him dirty because he does himself dirty. It's his documentary. They do the side profile and you're like, this guy is like honestly 10 pounds away from being no neck Ed. Like he's right there. It's insane. I was like, why would you use that side profile, Lou? I was like, it's terrible. But as for the documentary, I was like, it starts off, they're like, you ever hear about the Tic Tac? I was like, wait, what? That's what we're leading off with?
Who hasn't?
Yes. It was in the fucking news.
I was like, you mean the footage of that UFO that they put on the news every single, like, every other month when they talk about UFOs, which
It's
is
like, it's genuinely the one sighting, encounter, whatever you want to call it, that like when someone finds out that we do a podcast about aliens, they're like, you know about that Tic Tac? You heard about it?
Tic-tac?
Like it's like your uncle walks in at, dinner being like, fucking, I know about these aliens. Tic Tac.
They show that Tic Tac and that Go Fast video, and that's all we get all the time.
Yeah, and they opened it with that, and I'm just like, yes, what? I was like, this, to preface this is a great documentary if you've been in a coma for the last 8 years and you're like, what's going on in the world of UFOs? I'd like to get up to speed on, as of what's happened up until like 6 months ago, to catch me up. You're like, this is perfect.
Not the age of disclosure. It should be a beginner's guide to disclosure.
The recap of disclosure.
Right? Like that's fucking.
Yeah, the recap of disclosure. I like it. That's 100%. It's like the only new information. Let's go over the new information. What did you guys learn? The one thing that I learned in this was that when they were talking, first off, that when they're talking about the UFOs fucking pinging nuclear warheads and stuff, right? Like we've talked about that. We've talked about Maelstrom.
Yep.
What's the other one? I can't remember now. The guy references it. It's where they shoot the missile and they said that a UFO fucking appears and shoots some beams at it and disables the nuclear missile.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But
I can't remember
exactly
the name off by hand, but they show a video that's not a real video. As like it's the classic video,
dramatic reenactment.
Yeah.
No, it's that video went viral. And it's a fake video of like a missile, and it shows like a UFO be like zing, is it with some lights?
Zap. Fucking
like zaps. And then the missile and the planes go, and the guy's like, we saw that. And I was like, that's a fake video. That, like, you're putting that in your documentary. That's not a real video. That video is a reenactment, but they didn't even, they play it as if it's a real video for people. I'm like, that's not a real thing. Video. That's not one of the legit videos, guys. What are we doing here? The one thing I did learn, I was like, when they were talking about like the amount of pushback AATIP and like all these like programs they get from the top because of the like stigma around the UFO culture, was that they're like, I love, he goes, there's a lot of religious extremists. And when he said that, in my head, I was like, oh. And then he's like, what he meant was Christians. There's a lot of Christians at the top that are like, these are demons. And we don't talk about Satan's demons.
I felt I really do feel like that guy would have misrepresented some of the stuff. Like people said, like they could have been talking about something like there's just some that I don't know, like daemons, like which are like programs that run in the background of computer stuff. But it's like I feel like they could be saying something. And he's like, so you're saying there's demons? They're like, well, no, I didn't say demons, but like but you're kind of poking the bear. You're talking about bears, right? It's like bears. It's like okay.
Do you guys have you heard of the Collins Elite?
No, what's that?
So the Collins Elite is an alleged secret group within the U.S. government that believes UFOs and extraterrestrials are not aliens, they're demons, right? So this group formed in the 40s and 50s. It was alleged created in response to early UFO incidents like Roswell and concerns that contact with alien resembled occult or demonic activity. So they believed kind of like guys like Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard or Aleister Crowley kind of like opened the door to these demons and brought them here, which, I mean, the timeline kind of does fit that way, but yeah. So apparently this has been going on for a long time.
So there's like a subsect that's like would rather hire John Constantine to deal with these things. It's like
it's fucking hilarious that you said that. Yeah. I was like, those are my two options in my head. It was like either that or resurrect the Warrens. It's only fucking.
But they couldn't. Resurrection's probably a bit fucking nay. That's it. Like that was interesting to me that they kind of brought that up. I was like,
it's interesting. Well, I feel like that's like, I feel like it's some old bastard trying to rationalize aliens. Be like,
yeah,
gotta be demons.
Got demons.
It's the only explanation.
Well, we're talking
I
about
feel
demons.
like if you're career military, like I don't really see you believing in God because you're like World War II generation. You saw a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of bad things happen and kind of being like,
yeah, it's like. Yeah, and it's like that's what. Yeah, it just seems
stuff,
weird.
like, you know.
I just thought that it was interesting that it's like, you know, we kind of feel at this day and age we're so progressive in this movement of like, you know, these things are out there. There's so much interest in the public, but then there's high-ranking officials that are still our fucking grandparents' age. You know what I mean? I still our grandparents. You know what I mean? They're like, we talk about aliens, right? Demons. But and it's like they're just so out of touch. You know what I mean? And with like don't want to look at this stuff. You're not gonna tell them they're like this is science fiction. You know what I mean? These are books.
Yeah, but then they go on. But then they go on to talk about like on the opposite side is like, oh, we're reverse engineering stuff. We've been recovering these crafts.
Yeah,
like
fucking demon technology, Dan.
Yeah, we gotta harness that fucking demon energy.
Right. I know how Doom goes down. Like I know how this works.
If we can just make steam from hell, we'll solve all the world's problems.
But like, I don't know, because I feel like there's a little bit there too, because when we get back into the basis of all the old religions of the saucers coming down from the sky, you know, and like maybe that's the god, like the Anunnaki, whatever is God. So maybe there is, you know, maybe that's just another way of describing aliens, the demons. I don't know.
Well, I have
maybe
no
it's
doubt in my mind.
Subsect of aliens. I don't know. Personally, I believe that these ancient stories and stuff that we've passed down religion, just like, you know, these stories of miracles and stuff. And it's like, you know, you'd be like, it's fucking magic. Like, no, turning water into wine. What the fuck? Like, this doesn't logically make sense. We can't replicate. Well, I'm making water to wine right now, actually. No big deal. It just takes me 28 days to do it. But like this, to these like ancient civilizations, seeing this new technology, it would be miracles. You know what I mean? Like if something came back 1,000 years ago that looked like us, they were like, these things would be miracles. So maybe it's just visitors from somewhere else that had advanced technology, and you know, and now through years of telephone and, you know, passing down these stories, it's turned into religion, where it's, you know, really like, started off as first contact. It wouldn't even need to be that. You wouldn't even need a telephone game, because you, like, anyone coming from the fucking sky with this type of technology would be like, that's a god. Yeah, whoever that is, fucking, you know, like we still would fucking do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Then the other interesting thing, it was cool to, because you know this video is gonna get like tons of people are gonna watch it. Good for them. I was thinking though, as I was watching, I was like, you know, has Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp just fucking shot this down? And they're like, this is the fucking UFO documentary's our game. What the fuck?
I saw George Knapp in one of those videos. They did have George Knapp on one of those because he was at one of those.
George Knapp has to be in it.
Well, no, he was at one of those hearings. He was at they had footage of the UFO, the UAP.
He was just fucking shuffling through papers in the back
hearings. But no, he was like at one of the subcommittees with Grush and all them. Like I think he was on one of those subcommittee hearings. Like when they went in there, I'm pretty sure I saw. I was like, hey, it's George Knapp. And then I'm like, why didn't they get George Knapp on here? Like,
it's because, dude, he works strictly with Corbell. Him and Corbell make movies together. That's
tag
why.
Team.
right? That's why I figured that it was like, I imagine they shot this down. I didn't really have time to look into it, but I was like, I bet, because Jeremy Corbell shoots down just about anything anyone else does in the space.
I think him and Lou Elizondo are not necessarily at odds, but they're not buddies.
Yeah, but it was funny to watch because I was like, this stuff is, there's no new information.
Well, and the worst part about this,
Corbell did his own documentary. He did last year. They did theirs.
Yeah, they're competing.
The balloon
competition. Like you said, like there was no new information for this. So everybody who's already been into disclosure, right, has pretty good grasp of all this information. And the worst part about this is it's like, who are the only fucking people that spent $25 to rent this fucking thing? Right? The people who already know. This isn't like you want to get this out to the masses. It goes somewhere for free. It goes on Netflix or something where somebody's gonna be like, I'll give it a shot. Whereas it's like the only assholes that are paying $25 are people like us who already know this shit.
I could have fucking compiled this information for you.
That's what I mean. Like, you didn't, like, nobody's got any new information from this. Everybody that watched this already fucking knew, dude.
They talked about like crash retrieval programs. We've talked immensely about that. They talked about UFOs and bodies being brought back to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We've coined that as Area 52.
Seeing credible people say it though
is cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's still just people who are like, I heard from a person.
Yes, dude. Even Grush.
There's no like solid stuff. Like, and again, and Braden mentioned that, you know, it's like they use the what was it, the CGI representation of the videos or stuff like that, and it's like the legit videos. Like, really, the only legit videos we do have UFOs are the AATIP, like the Go Fast and Vandenberg. Yeah.
That's the one with the missile,
right? And so it's like, it's not a lot of stuff. I think this is more for people who haven't been paying attention, and it's like, oh, if you haven't been watching, like, here's what's going on.
Those are not the people that rented this.
And it's probably not. It's just true.
It's and the problem is for me is I'm like Lou loses all credibility. Like, you watch this and you think
he had a chalkboard. Okay, he had a chalkboard,
dude. Yeah, he. With the 6 archetypes of the fucking
the observables,
the observables, and I'm like,
there was 5. Now there's 6 because there's the
soon there's going to be 11 pillars of effects UFOs. It was like that guy has lost all credibility due to the fact that, like, he's presented in front of Congress a lampshade as a UFO. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. And he talks in this fucking documentary, but he's like, they try to defame me, they try to embarrass me, and I'm like,
you did that yourself, dude.
You've done it. But he leaves that out of the documentary. So huge little asterisk for everyone who watches this and you're listening. This motherfucker presented a lampshade, a picture of a lampshade as a UFO to Congress. And you know what's funny, actually? There was a brief moment in this, and I wonder if someone else is going to watch this and can see it too. There was a brief moment that I thought I saw a picture of one of the UFOs they used, and it was that picture that's of that car that's upside down. Have you guys seen that one? It's a car in a lake, and it looks like a UFO.
Yeah.
And if you turn your head, it's the car sticking out of the lake.
Yep.
For a brief, when they had a quick compile of all these photos, and I thought I saw that one, but I was too far away from the remote to rewind it. I was like, honestly, I was like 25 minutes in. I was like, I'm not wasting any more of my life to check into that.
I thought it was, they did show some other footage, like some other alleged UFO footage. And it was like, and there's some videos, like, they kind of had them zoomed in. And I was like, I hadn't seen them that zoomed in before. And I'm like, that's a bird. I'm like, because some of the thermal videos, like, they see him in, like, zoomed in, and like, I see the movement of the wings of the bird, and I'm like, that's a bird.
The cool thing that I did see, the representation, the two things is, like, the talk. I don't remember, like, I've probably read and we've probably talked about, but, like, the size of the Tic Tac being 40 feet long, and that other observable ones that they know about are double that size, and they're moving at like the fact that how fast they're moving.
Well, like that one that was the size of a football field.
Yeah, I was like
crazy.
That was cool. And then the fact that they're talking about like the sphere, it's a sphere that warps time and space around the craft. We've kind of talked about this, but the representation that I thought was cool is I was like, it's like riding a wave. Like this thing is surfing space and time.
Is
like,
that the quantum entanglement? Is that what that
I think
is?
so? Yeah, they're
it's
like,
it's
maybe
more
it's getting
like,
power from somewhere else.
It's more like the Star Trek, like the warp bubble. It's like you encase yourself within like space-time barrier, and then you just slip through. Like you just
everywhere,
stuff like that. It's basically just that. It's like if you haven't been paying attention, you've been reading any science fiction for the last 40 years, you're like, yeah, okay, these are all pretty novel theories and all that stuff. I suppose
the greatest thing, one of the greatest lines in that was like when they had like Rush and Lou, and they were talking about like disclosure and it needs to happen and transparency needs to happen. They need to know. And the government, the two things I thought about this, like the government has to tell the people, the taxpayers are funding this. They need to know. The two things I thought was like, first off, they do not need to know. Like if you're the government, I was like, they do not need to know, especially if this is not UFO or UAP and this is foreign tech or in-house tech that they have, and they're like running these missions. Because like one of the points they made, they're like, these things are always, every time there's a Navy exercise, these things are out there buzzing. They don't attack though. And I'm like, could that be possibly because you're testing to see if your own equipment during testing can track and contain whatever tech this is? Right?
Or is it your own equipment messing up? Like, you know, it's that thing
maybe.
too. It's being like, are there problems with your detection things that they're giving you ghosts or giving you, you know, like wrong contacts, like false contacts? Like that would also be something to be worried about.
It was
that was a big takeaway. The fact like the foreign entities recovering crafts and like the threat of that was a big thing they 100%. Were harping on. Like that also was like,
it makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. If
like
there is,
they're reverse engineering these crafts as well.
Also, an interesting point that there's something I found
China,
interesting is
how do you think
had,
China got those balloons? Huh? How do you think China got those balloons up in the sky? They reverse engineered those balloons.
That's why they needed an F-22 Raptor to shoot down the balloon. Yeah. One interesting point I thought was Marco Rubio is featured
quite a bit.
Yeah. Yes,
quite a fucking bit.
And not happy about it.
The interesting thing is that I think he specifically talks to the one of those sections of the documentary. They talk about whistleblowers, and they talk about the important part that they're playing. More people coming forward, and they need to be protected, and they need to be whatever. Well, the administration that Marco Rubio is currently working under as like Secretary of State they just proposed rolling back protections on whistleblowers. Dude, like have you not seen
Rubio's statements about this documentary? He's like, they shot this 3 or 4 years ago. They took just about everything I said out of context. And he's like, I think these UFO guys are liars or crazy. I was like, whoa, that's not good, because he was a big player and you guys wouldn't shut the fuck up about all his valiant efforts. And now he's like,
we gotta these guys. We gotta protect these whistleblowers and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, that all sounds really good, because you do need to protect whistleblowers. And now he's gone completely back on that, or he's not really in the loop about them being like, we're gonna pull all the protections from whistleblowers. So any high level government officials that come out against the government will automatically be punished. Pretty much.
You think old Donnie and Dorito Skin's seen this?
No.
No, he's not paying $25.
No. They didn't send the fucking president a fucking screener?
Rubio probably doesn't even want him to see this.
Donnie didn't get a screener for free of this thing?
There's no way. There's no way he's fucking watching this. Dude, he would know all this information. There's no information in this thing.
But they say that they don't. Like in the documentary, they said that the president of the United States wouldn't necessarily be in the know of all this shit, right?
Except it's been in the news. Like you and I are in the know.
Yeah, but the fact that they're demons and shit.
Yeah.
Right?
They've prayed over it.
I guarantee you, if Donnie knew that these aliens existed, we would know.
I don't think he could keep it.
I believe that
There's no fucking way. Buddy, not only could he not keep it a secret, every single fucking planet would have tariffs on them already. He'd be fucking coming after everybody.
Space tariffs.
There'd be fucking space tariffs everywhere.
Nobody's ever done it
gotta
before.
close down the Earth borders. They're
Yeah.
coming in from all these
Close them
shithole
down.
planets.
They're
All these
coming
shithole
for-
planets.
Of course, they're coming here.
They should go back to their planets and fix them.
Maybe this entire time the ice crackdowns is they're just going after the wrong aliens.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the ice really Men in Black. They're just removing. Could you imagine a Men in Black 4? They just. Oh, you could do it really real timely Men in Black 4 right now, I think.
Absolutely.
Or Men in Black 5.
5.
But yeah, it was like the stuff with they were like they have to tell Joe citizens what's going on. I'm like they're not going to. Why would they? It doesn't make any sense why they would like divulge that information to the public in case it was like military tech or advanced like intelligence of some kind. Why they would just let everyone know capabilities. The other thing that kind of struck me is this. I'm like, it's a very unique situation because if you look at the superpowers of like America, China, and Russia, all three were named in this documentary as having reverse engineered tech. America is the only one of those countries where you could even have this kind of discourse where you're like petitioning the government, then they have to release it. And then part of me was like, man, could a foreign state fucking pay these groups in order to be trying to get America to divulge what they have? Because they're like, we have it. We know they fucking have it. What do they have? And so they're using the legal loopholes of like the democracy that is the United States in order to like press politicians into pressing the government to release disclosure to find out what they have, if they have anything.
I think that was actually one of the that was actually one of the plots. I think I think it was in some files where the USSR had originally like pushed the alien, like the ancient alien theory, as a way to collapse like religion. When former Soviet Union was hating on all religions, like they were like, we're gonna push out this information and they're gonna legitimize some of their scientists and stuff who were kind of pushing that narrative. And they're like, their whole thing was to be like, we're going to cause the collapse of religion and faith in the government and stuff like that. That was like one of their like psyops.
Well, I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Those things are both happening.
And it also was like, went back to me, it was like, they talk about like, oh, they release all this misinformation and stuff to try to like sour the cause. And I'm like, dude, Lou, a lampshade, bro. Lampshade. You're the useful idiot in this scenario that you're talking about. You're him. You're the guy.
By honestly, though, like that's.
Yeah. I also like the age old thing where they're like, they can't let this information get out because it'll shatter the organizations of the world. Like major religions don't want this to get out because they won't be able to like handle it.
Yeah, the Vatican has a secret group that already knows all of this stuff, and they were not willing to let it out.
Yeah, but it's also like, like Christianity and the Catholic Church have been around for like 1,000 years, and it's like they survived, modern physics, solar systems, like a heliocentric theory, germ theory, all of this, and they're still around. And so they're going to be like, there's aliens. I'm like, okay, like,
no, do you mean demons?
They wouldn't even be that. Like, aliens want to get baptized. That's cool. The Pope said that. If
Literally, no, they would just play into that though. They'd be like they're already within the government saying it's demons. Like they're fucking. That's easy.
I still feel like that guy would just be like, somebody told him like, hey man, you're just chasing dust devils. Like devils? You're saying these are devils? And like, no, you're chasing. No, I mean like you're not. There's nothing there.
Devils,
like,
huh?
Yeah,
made of dust.
You chasing
turned
ghosts.
Anyways,
Yeah,
like, probably have an exorcism.
Like okay, like no, I didn't say that.
It's the other thing is like they were talking about like this is like there's like a silent Cold War. And it's a global tech arms race between right now Soviet, China, and the States in secret for the last 80 years of who can like reverse engineer and collect as much of this stuff. And they actually kind of mentioned, they were like, the best case scenario for these crash retrieval teams is that it falls into the ocean and not hostile territory. And I'm like,
Are they going to other countries and retrieving this? Like, is that what they're alluding at? Is like, if it lands on land somewhere else, they're sending a team in? Like, are we having secret wars like fucking Ark Raiders going for loot? Is that what's happening here?
Okay, now I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in now. I'm into
friendly,
this.
Friendly.
Yeah.
But like, that's kind of interesting that there's like this a huge black budget just vanishing into thin air from these countries, just like secretly going to this secret tech.
It'd be easier if it fell into a different country as opposed to falling to the depths of the ocean.
If there were a black budget, Doge would have found it, like they would have found it.
Yeah, it's true. Well, but that doesn't mean it's waste, abuse, and fraud, right? If they know it, they're like, no, this is good. We're keeping this.
It's got to be documented, though. That's it.
Yeah, they documented
it probably on all those files with the social security numbers.
Yeah, they documented it as fucking $800 nuts and bolts. 6 nuts and bolts for the aircraft. That's where they documented it. The other thing I thought was interesting is like they were talking about the legacy programs, where it's like the reason why so many people have issues getting like FOIA requests is because like they not only is like the CIA is kind of like the head of this umbrella, but then there's like Department of Energy that has its own like classification codes and like doesn't have to conform. So it's like they're running this, CIA is running this program through the Department of Energy as well, using their also classification. So like everything's kind of like double classified, and they're like, it makes it very difficult to like get anywhere. To get any of this information out.
I like that whole concept that they brought in, the suitably named and like creepy kind of the legacy program. I'm like, never heard of that. I think you guys just coined that.
I think they coined that for this documentary too.
It's the new boogeyman. Like
that might be honestly that might be the only new information that we got is that the term the legacy program. But it used
to be the deep state, and they've rebranded it as the legacy, whatever, the legacy program or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like it was they didn't have any, like, even listening to Grush's testimony again in this documentary, when they're asking him like straight up like, has anyone been murdered or been threatened, and he's like, I've directed them to the authorities. And he's like, do you know anyone?
Like, that's a
I've
possibility.
directed them to the authorities. And they're like, have you seen any, like, have you done or seen any of this stuff? The people I've talked to, I was like, brother, you're not a witness. You were a rumor mill at that point. You know what I mean? I'm like, nothing you say is firsthand knowledge. It's like you're fucking, you want some gossip I overheard? That's what this guy, Grush is the guy hanging around the water cooler telling everyone your business. That's what's going on here.
There was a photo of Grush like in there, and he looks like a pretty big dude. Like, I didn't think he was that
huge.
big, but I don't know if that photo was like, was he in the foreground a little bit more, or was he just big? Like, he looked pretty big.
It's not. It's also throws you off though too, because you forget that Lou Elizondo is a dwarf from the Lord of the Rings.
This is also true,
right? So it's like when they're together, you're like, whoa, because it's weird because Lou Elizondo, when he's standing, he kind of looks like he has the build of like a normal guy. Kind of, and he's not. He's like 5'4". He's so tiny.
He's as tall as he is wide.
Yes,
it's crazy.
So you don't think can be that short, and then like Grush is probably like, I don't know how tall he is, 6 feet, maybe 6'1", but he's probably like 5'8". He just towers over him. But like you sit there, and it's so cool to like. It's so cool to think about these programs and like and what they're talking about as like a concept of like, hey, we're being visited. There's transmedium craft. We're not sure if they're coming from the ocean. That was a big point. Like, maybe they're from within. Maybe we haven't mapped the bottom of the ocean. Maybe they're down there. And it's like, well, yeah maybe. But it's like, sure. You're just speculating. Leave that to the theorists, my friend. That's our job.
That's our bad.
Right? We're not wearing fucking suits and ties and going to Congress. Let us fucking talk about
you guys don't got to pay
shit.
$25 to rent for our stupid shit.
But like
the fact that say this stuff for free.
Oh yeah. When they were like, we have to let this out because people are going to lose trust in the government. I threw my head back in my chair and I said, this you're claiming that this hill is going to be the last straw for people of trusting the government. I was like,
that ship sailed, dude.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nobody trusts the government.
No one. They're literally snatching people up off the streets.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the hill that they're going to lose trust. I'm like, dude, think about
Operation Sea Spray, Operation Midnight Climax, like MK Ultra, 9/11, JFK assassination. Gladio. Like it's just
everything. The moon landing.
The moon landing. You could do a list that is just insane of the shit that the CIA and the government has done to its own people, and then you're like, we're forgiving 9/11. People, but now we hit this. That's it. We're losing all trust in our elected officials if they don't tell us if they're studying aliens or not. I thought that was like comical. I was like, what do you guys, especially in this day and age of what's going on right now, I was like, I would say zero. Like you are near zero trust. And honestly, I don't care which political leanings you have. If you're someone that's like, oh, I trust the government, you're a fool. You're a fool. You can't. Like, I think any governments around the world have thrown is like, you can't really trust the governments. They're self-sufficient. They don't have the best interests of the people. They're never going to tell you everything they know. And they're running secret programs all the fucking time, testing on you. Dude, when they said they're like, we can kill Americans. We can kill Americans. We can. I was like, Lou, are you threatening the audience? What's going on here? Because he was using we, not as in like they could kill me. Because he said before, he's like, they could kill me. But then he's like, we can kill people. We can kill Americans. And I was like, we? What do you mean we, Lou?
Flexes his traps a little bit there.
Yeah. Shirt wrinkles up a little more. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Lou?
Yeah,
I was
relax,
like,
Lou.
He's like, so if I love how he goes, if I end up dead, you know what happened to me. If I end up floating in a river,
you died of a jammer, too many cheeseburgers, you
yeah.
fucking bowling ball.
Lou, I'll tell you something. I'll make a bold prediction. You live a long and healthy life shooting the shit about aliens and showing lampshades to Congress because you, my friend, are a useful idiot. And you are going to be used as long as you're willing to stay in that space of being an informant. Like what, dude? And he even in this thing, he drives me crazy. He's like, I've seen so much classified information that I will never tell a soul. He's like, and I can't talk about it at all, and I'm not going to. But I'll allude to some of the things. Maybe aliens. And you're like, what? Like you're not a whistleblower then. Blow the fucking whistle. What are you doing, Lou?
And it's like they like, oh, it's like we're getting close to disclosure. It's becoming now mainstream. I was like, it's been mainstream for kind of a long time. And then he's talking about, we've made a lot of progress. Whistleblowers coming. And I'm like, yes and no. It's like we have had a lot of progress in the fact that there is,
congressional meetings.
There is congressional meetings, which are super boring because I've watched a lot of them, and I'm like,
painful.
And like, but nobody watches them. Like I watch them, and I'm like, okay, there's nothing in here that's really new. They established an entirely new task force, the UAP task force, which is like the after AATIP, basically the successor to AATIP. And then they got mad because they didn't release anything fast enough. So then they put in, what was it, in the coronavirus bill they were talking about, that was what Mark
yeah, he's like we snuck this UFO stuff in there.
I was like, you didn't sneak it in. Everybody saw it. It was in the news. Like, I was like, I remember seeing that in the news and reading that specific, I on the podcast, I remember reading that specific section, like probably the whole thing, and being like, yeah, they're going to put this in here. And I'm kind of excited about it. And it's, but then, then they're like, oh, they have to make a report like every 6 months or every quarter. I can't remember what they were doing. And then it's every time you tune into one of those, and it's kind of like, yeah, we're working on it. Like we got reports and stuff. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, we haven't really found anything yet. It's here's some of the stuff. And yeah, this is a lampshade. And yeah, there you go.
I think if you're not specifically not us, you might watch this. It's a good watch. You'd probably be like, oh yeah, this is interesting. You probably know, like, depending your level, like, cause it's hard for me to know. Cause I'm like, do we know an absurdly amount of UFO lore? Probably insane, right? Like we're probably like in the small percentage of the world that has talked about aliens and UFOs and talked we're probably subject matter experts, as crazy as that is to say. Yeah, so it's like part of me goes, I'm like,
hard as that is to believe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's part that I go like, is it just us that like, is someone like a layman that kind of like is kind of interested, going to know all this stuff? Or is it going to be interesting for them? Or it's like, am I just like, because our finger's so on the pulse with
alien UFO stuff that for us, we're just like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
It's just rehashing a lot of stuff for us. Yeah. I mean, it's really just like a recap of the last, last 20 years or something, kind of stuff that like we already know. And I guess, some people are, going through the internet and stuff and people talking about the documentary being like, this is going to really bring it out and people are going to be, watching this because it is just a recap. But that's also what Corbell's documentary was about last year. It was like a same thing.
Dude, that's literally all Corbell's documentaries are about.
And you're just showing
he had the Bob Lazar one. He had the fucking UFO one. He had the one last year.
And you're just always showing blurry photos and the go fast and the Tic Tac video and
they're always
show those on the news.
They're always talking about the things I've heard, the people I can talk to, but we can't release. It's like release it.
It's like I thought that's what the documentary was for.
That's what drives me crazy about, especially with Lou, because you watch this, he paints himself as such a fucking hero. You're like, holy, the white knight of the UFO community. And he talks about his life. I was like, but then blow the whistle. You say you have this classified information, blow the whistle.
And then you got Marco Rubio in there, like calling out the thing, being like, they misinterpreted what I said. They shot it. They cut it weird. And I'm like, and then there's some kind of weird cuts with some of what the people are saying, like in the interviews. And you're like, okay, so what did they, how did they cut some of this? It's like, it's always these kind of documentaries that I'm always super skeptical about being like, I think you guys might've edited that.
I do like listening the few like firsthand accounts they have of like people talking about the like seeing the Tic Tac and stuff. They had Fravor and then they had the lady pilot. And they were like, they were talking about their like experience, like seeing them. I the firsthand account. I'm a big fan. I've listened to firsthand accounts all the time. So that was kind of cool in there, but it's like, and I mean the stuff, it was cool for them to be talking about like how these things possibly can travel. And then like the other interesting thing I thought was they were talking about like, like they never attacked. We fired stuff at them and they've never retaliated like these things. Like, and I mean, recently it was probably too recent that they couldn't include it in the documentary, but there's the one where it's like they shot some sort of missile at it, a Hellcat missile or something.
Yeah.
You remember what it was?
Yeah.
And it just ricochets off this thing and this thing just kind of spins and then keeps going.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing that they said was they're like, well, to them, we're like ants, right? And like right now, we might be ants at the back of the yard, right? And it's like no big deal. But at what point do you become ants in the house to them? And now we're like, you're an issue. And it's like as a
probably
like
when you have
global,
nuclear weapons.
Yeah, as a global civilization.
Not even nuclear weapons. Like you would have to like, if these things are traveling and they have
bending space time.
And they're talking about bending space time and having access to energy sources that are hundreds of thousands of times.
What did they say?
The one of an entire nation or whatever.
A full year of electrical output of the United States.
Nuclear weapons to them, not even a problem.
Yeah, but
needed to travel.
You could railgun the Earth. Like
so you're telling me that it's like China has reverse engineered one of these crafts, Russia's reverse engineered one of these crafts, and they're not. The entire country's not running off of fucking free energy.
Yeah, and they're still
building
struggling.
Some massive fucking empire
with fusion.
Well, China's crushing solar apparently, right? So maybe they have some advanced solar relays.
Yeah,
but who knows? That could be fucking Chinese propaganda. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like, oh, what is
documentary is American propaganda?
It's like, I don't know.
It was a little bit.
It's literally American propaganda.
Humans have nukes. They're so scary. I'm like, nah, dude.
This is funded by the fucking CIA. They're just giving us this.
That's what I think too. Well, dude,
there's no way any of these fucking guys are in this without their approval. There's no way.
Yeah, I think all these guys are like, they nail it in the documentary. They're like, they think there's so much misinformation out there. I'm like, that's what this is. I'm like, they're 100%. Throwing stuff in here and having people in here that are now discredited. Like Lou is discredited. Anything he says is discredited. And so having him in this, like the main thing, you're like, okay, well, this guy, like people, I mean, maybe the layman's not going to know about the lampshade, but like, people in the know, and he the
guy
his
who's
thing is like
seeing the Tic Tac for the first time in this documentary didn't know about the lampshade.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like, "Whoa, shit, this guy's amazing." And so it's like
this guy is a hero,
right? And then he's gonna be listening to what Lou says, and then Lou's gonna, be feeding what he gets straight from CIA informants that are giving him information on stuff they want to be released.
100%.
Right? Like that's what I think. It's like
useful idiot. He probably does think he's genuinely fucking doing something.
And that's the same thing with Grush. Grush doesn't give any information that he knows. It's all secondhand sources. I was like, this guy told me this. I'm like, buddy, you're a fucking plant. I was like, why are these people coming? Who are you that these people are coming to you as some savior, right? And they're trying to make Grush into like, oh, I'm speaking out on behalf of the other people. It's like, no.
And then Lou's out there, like you mentioned before, Lou's out there implying or alluding to the fact that he might have a threat on his life, that he has information that they would, toss him in the Potomac for knowing or something like that. And like, well, why don't you just release it then? Because then, if they're coming for you, like,
yes, exactly. It's like, you're saying they're threatening your life, then release what you know. What do you mean?
What do you at least be like, I've got a dead man switch that if something happens to me, then I release all this information is going to go out public again, or something. You can
say whatever you want about Bob Lazar, and I don't know if I fully trust him and stuff. But the one thing that I like about his story is that he right away is like, I'm saying all this information because if they kill me, which I'm worried they will, now it's true. And so then. That it's kind of like the reverse Uno card. They're like, well, we can't kill him because if we kill him, then people are going to actually believe what he says. So we're just going to fucking smear him all the fucking time. And I feel like Lou, there's actually, like you said, release it then. Because if you release it, you can't, you're essentially protecting yourself, because if you release the information, they can't kill you because killing you confirms what you released.
They're like, if he's worried, they're going to smear me. I'm like, Lou, you smear yourself, dude. That lampshade, they got you.
One, it's like you talk about the stigma, like they talk about the stigma involved. And it's like, yeah, man, there's still that stigma today, especially because of of what's happening. Like you see what's going with Lou, and like it kind of turns into a circus act, right? Like of some of these people. So who wants to get involved with Lou Elizondo now? Like who's a military official? You know what I mean? Like it makes it super awkward because you're like, well, this guy's fucking putz. It's embarrassing. But I mean, the whole thing is like, it's disappointing. It's like, are we ever going to get disclosure? Fuck no. No.
Little bits and pieces. All the shit they want you to know. And that's it.
100%. That's it. The shit and the stories they don't want you to know are already out there and you can know. And that's what kind of shapes a lot of people's views on UFOs, is the stuff that they can't control. And that's the only narratives that we're ever going to know, is like the information they put out, other than like real firsthand sightings, like the aerial school phenomenon and the fucking, Varinga or whatever in Brazil or whatever. Like these weird ones where you hear these stories and there's tons of firsthand accounts. Is that the one
where they shut down the hospital, the Varinga?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was interesting. That was really interesting.
I mean, like, for me, I'm like, save yourself $20, go back and listen to our UFO episodes from the last decade, and then you'll be in the know. You
probably know a little more. Thing.
Yeah, probably. From this, you might get a little bit more well-rounded viewpoints on this topic. I was also disappointed that there's not a lot of new information in here. It's a lot of people who probably you haven't seen. Most of these people I had seen, the interview people, I'd seen them before. I knew who they were. I'd never seen Tim Burchett without his glasses, so that was kind of interesting. I was like, I thought that was funny. So that's disclosure, age of not so disclosure.
Yeah, I just don't think it's. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brothers. You're not going to get any disclosure. I'll tell you, you're not going to get from Lou Elizondo. You're not going to get from Corbell. You're not going to get from Knapp. You're not going to get from any person that is currently tied to the UFO community. Is not where you're going to get disclosure from. There's not a fucking chance. These people are like, you're going to look back in 60 years and they're going to be like the Warrens. Right, where people are like, yeah, they were really involved in this, but they had all these, skeletons in the closet and a lot of bullshit and all this stuff. Like that's how it's going to look. I think when you look back at this time. So it's it's like I said, it's going to be either damning video evidence of like a nation coming down, or just something that's it's not going to be anything that the government controls that we find out that we're not alone in the universe. That's just my thoughts. It's never going to come from the government, ever. They're not going to be the ones to be like, we're not alone, everyone. We have crafts. That'd be the dumbest thing they could ever do.
It would be something that we already know. Like, it'd just be like, we retrieved a craft recently, and we're gonna let everybody know.
And they fucking said it. They said the TikTok, like, we don't know what it is. They're like, that's huge. That was huge disclosure already. The saying, be like, we don't have any idea, and it displayed properties of tech that we currently don't know, and we don't think our adversaries have. And you're like, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big disclosure. That's pretty much saying that we're not alone and these are extraterrestrials without actually saying it. And I mean, I think because they can't 100% say it, why would you be like, that's 100% aliens? Like, you don't know. They're pretty much saying that, and I think that's the best we're gonna get. But anyway, age disclosure. It's like, listen, the people that wanted us to watch it, we watched it. Did anyone of you guys rent it?
I didn't.
I didn't either. I'm not gonna say how. There's ways. There's ways around. You guys know.
If you're in the know,
if you're in the know, if you want real disclosure on how we're not paying to watch these videos, join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Theorists Theorizing. Jump on our Discord, and then you can ask us, tell us your secrets, and maybe one of us will divulge how we watch these without paying. That's the only way to get it. Hey, listen, if you like the show, helps us out. We got tons of bonus stuff on there. It's been a little crazy for us this last month. Everyone gone, surgeries and whatnots going on. So we'll be, in the coming weeks, we're going to get back to it a little more frequently. And it's so tough with the fucking greatest game of all time dropping, and reigniting our passion for video gaming at the same time. It's really
RBR,
hard.
baby. Rather be raiding.
Getting that fucking sweet loot, baby. Down with the arc. We'll be back next week. See y'all later. Keep those eyes on the skies.